Welcome back to Well, That's Interesting, the only podcast with two mics.
That's right. We're the only ones. Actually, technically, it's 3 mics right now.
Oh, that's right. The only podcast with 3 microphones.
With 3 mics. That's right. We're new to this whole sound thing. We're testing out fancy new mics.
Various mics.
And we're also using our old mic.
Yes. We're covered in mics. It's a little overwhelming. Yeah. I feel like I'm covered in robots right now. Yeah. So, other good news than being covered in robots, if you happen to follow us on Instagram at wellthatsinterestingpod or on Twitter at WTI_pod, you may have noticed that, or even if you listened to the show before, you've probably noticed some beautiful changes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a little glow up. I'm so excited.
That's right. We got some new cover art and new thumbnail art and whatnot.
It's so cute.
It's just so gorgeous. Like our beautiful heads have become beautiful art.
Seriously. We had a vision. We Googled how to get that vision. It was too hard to do on our own.
Yes.
So we paid someone that we Googled to make the vision happen.
Yeah.
Roxandra draws on a website called Fiverr. Fiverr. 2 R's.
2 R's.
Amazing.
3 mics, 2 R's. That's us.
3 mics, 2 R's. And damn, this girl, she did this fucking artwork in 2 days, less than 48 hours.
Yeah. So look her up on Fiverr if you need some fancy anything drawn.
Yeah.
She's your go-to.
Very reasonable.
And reasonable.
Nothing is reasonable anymore, but when I saw her rates, I was like,
it's reasonable.
That's reasonable.
It's within budget. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Fucking A. So thanks to Roxandra Draws. And we also want to give a huge thanks to our listeners in Argentina, because we've ranked on Apple Podcasts in the comedy category. We're in the top 300. We ranked at 240.
Hell yeah.
So thank you, Argentina, and to all of our listeners around the goddamn globe.
You guys are amazing. We love you. Argentina.
I know.
I didn't know you were listening. Y'all have amazing food. And amazing people.
Amazing taste.
Amazing taste in podcast above all else.
Amazing. So, yeah. Amazing listeners all around. So please rate us. That's how other people can find this podcast and find you, because it's a community. So,
you know what we should do? Crazy idea. I'm brainstorming while we're recording, but it would be cool if for the countries that we're ranked in, we should find something interesting specifically about that country.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Basically, we've been focusing on Florida the whole time.
This is so much out of Florida.
But I would love to know the weird shit that's going on in Argentina.
Yeah, please. And help us out. So email us at wellthatsinterestingpod@gmail.com what we should know about your country.
Yeah, it's also another great place to see our amazing cover art that we're like beaming about, like giggling about.
God. So thank you, everyone. I guess we should begin.
Yeah.
Today's episode 024, we're going to talk about 2 men on opposite sides of the world. Speaking of the world. But in the same year, 1923, they experienced deaths so bizarre that once word got out about their circumstances, people automatically assumed they had to be cursed.
I mean, I think a lot of things are cursed.
Yeah.
I think the United States is cursed. I think my digestive system is cursed. I think our building is cursed. I think
it smells like wet cat food for some reason today.
It really does. And every 5 minutes, I'm like, is it me?
No, it's not you.
Promise.
I'll let you know.
Am I the one making the whole building smell like this? But yes, I think a lot of things are cursed. I'm pumped to hear about these guys.
Well, all right. Our first dude. Now, if you look up Frank Hayes in Wikipedia, or if you give him a Google search, now you may not find very much about his life. In fact, if you check out that wiki page and scroll down to the bottom, it notes his biographical article is, quotes, a stub.
Okay.
Yeah. So this may be because Frank's death could overshadow many living accomplishments, and he was a mere 22 years old when he was bestowed the title of the only dead man in history to win a race at Belmont Park.
Oh, no.
Or really any racetrack for that matter.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
I only knew about as much as the title.
Yeah.
And that there was a horse race situation. This took a darker turn than I thought it would. And this show always takes a dark turn.
Horrible things happen here. Welcome, everyone, if this is your first time listening.
Welcome to Well, That's Interesting.
All right, well, let's snuggle into our time machine and travel back to the Roaring 20s, and specifically to the borough of Queens in New York City.
Fuck yeah.
Here we find not a jockey at the time, but a horse lover, horse trainer, and longtime stableman, Frank Hayes.
Good old Frank.
Good old Frank. Now, if I asked you to visualize a white dude in the early 1920s, I guarantee whatever you're thinking is exactly what Frank looks like.
Is there a hat? Is there a hat?
I would love to show you a picture of Frank and his hat as printed.
Yes, there's a hat.
As printed in the local papers at the time. Would you like to give a little detail of what Frank looks like?
I would love to. Oh, there's so a hat. I think you told me about the hat earlier, like not even 10 minutes ago. That's my 30-year-old brain giving out on me. It's like,
but you were still happy.
I was still pumped. Amazing hat. What's the name of the hat?
They're called boater hats.
They're called boater
made out
hats.
of straw. There's like a ribbon around the brim of it.
Yes.
If you don't know what we're talking about, give it a Google and you'll be like, oh shit, yeah, I know what that is. It's one of those things.
It's one of those, and a gentleman is wearing it. Kind of got a baby face. Looks like a 22-year-old white guy. Shaved, suit. What's the thing? A tie.
Yes.
I haven't.
We haven't been outside.
I haven't been to Midtown, which is like where all like the business stuff is.
Yeah.
Do you like how I worked in Midtown for years and I call it business stuff? People who work in finance.
That's the trauma. That's the trauma covering it up.
Yeah, I can't even remember. I would just go there every day and that was it.
Yeah, you wake up there and they're like,
oh God,
the trauma.
Those were the weird days.
So that's right, young babyface Frank. He was employed by Miss A.M. Frayling to care for her horses and to do all the chores a stableman would do, like cleaning stables, feeding, exercising, and grooming the horses, and being, quote, on call in case any member of the employer's family wishes to ride.
Wow.
End quote. Yeah.
That's rich.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to get even more into money.
Oh my God.
Words. Just wait.
Speaking of finance, can you imagine just be like, I feel like riding my horse and giving very little notice?
That's exactly it. Oh, America.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, go on.
That quote was from the Stableman Wiki page. So, one of the horses that Frank cared for was a mare named Sweet Kiss. Oh. And something about this animal inspired Frank. You see, just a short time ago, just about 18 years prior, Belmont Park opened and quickly became a big fucking deal in the horse racing world. Even if you know next to nothing about racing, like me, you know of or have at least heard of the Triple Crown.
I definitely have.
Yeah. And the final leg of that series takes place here, the big finish known as the Belmont Stakes. Now, Frank and Sweet Kiss didn't run in the Triple Crown, but Frank maybe thought one day they could, and despite the horse having no racing experience and Frank being just a dude from Queens, he somehow convinced Miss Frayling to enter them both in an upcoming race.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
wow.
The confidence.
The confidence.
Of a white guy.
And a rich old woman. That's amazing. Yeah. Sure, why not? Go for it. Live your best life.
It's reported by diabolicmagazine.com that the owner really didn't see much promise in either of them. And according to the official odds posted at 20-1, the public didn't see much in them either. Nevertheless, there was Frank, dressed in his colorful racing silk, sitting atop Sweet Kiss, waiting in the starting gate for the gun to go off, signaling the start of a 2-mile steeplechase. Now, I didn't know what the fuck a steeplechase was, so I looked it up.
Thank God.
Yeah. So, imagine a regular circular racetrack.
Okay.
And every couple of yards, there's a hurdle.
Okay.
And these hurdles can be made of steel or plastic fences, about 52 inches tall, or a little over 4 feet. There's also a fancier version where there's like live hedges made of pine or maybe some synthetic brush.
Oh, la la.
So, yeah. It's not your average race where a horse just runs. The hurdle horses are trained to jump in time with their stride so they don't lose speed when they land. Jumping out of stride not only lowers your speed dramatically, but it's damn dangerous. If you've ever watched humans at the Olympics run and jump and fall over hurdles, it's not pretty.
No.
Now imagine a large horse hauling ass at around 38 miles per hour.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
I'd rather not imagine that one, but I am.
Good news, though. Sweet Kiss was just fine. In fact, Sweet Kiss thrived. Even though it was her first time at a loud, rowdy racetrack against other horses, she won by a head.
What?
I know.
What? Sweet Kiss.
That's right. And what the fuck does that mean, won by a head? Well, traditionally, wins are measured by the length of a horse, which is about 8 feet. So the difference between first and second place here was only the size of a horse's head.
Oh.
So it was close, but still a fucking win.
Still a win.
That's right.
Love it.
So this had to be damn exciting, not only for Frank, but for the crowd. You could imagine how, You can imagine how bonkers they became seeing a pair with zero experience, zero history, break from the pack and win by only 2 feet.
Amazing.
So it was kind of odd that when Frank crossed the finish line, how could I say this? He wasn't very enthusiastic.
Oh my God. I'm making the emoji face with the teeth.
With the crunched teeth.
The crunched teeth. I've been doing that for the last 10 seconds.
From CuriousHistory.com, quote, "The spectators in attendance who noticed the slump jockey on the thoroughbred's back thought the young rider was merely showboating, riding the horse one-handed, relaxed as a dog sleeping in front of a fireplace."
Oh, wow.
End quote. Now, it seemed like all fun and games until Miss Frayling and the race officials approached Frank, where it became very apparent Frank was dead.
Oh, my God. That's horrifying.
I know.
That's horrifying.
At some point during the 2-mile steeplechase, Frank had died. His body remained in the saddle, quote, "making him the first, and thus far only, jockey known to have won a race after death," quoting Wikipedia.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. I have no other word other than horrifying.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it like 3 more times.
So, an autopsy was performed, and the New York Times revealed its results in a June 5th, 1923 article that, yes, today has a paywall. Would you like to read from the article, "Jockey Dies as He Wins His First Race"?
I would love to. Yeah. All right. Quote, "There was a magic ending to the steeple race."
Tragic.
Oh.
It's okay.
All right, let's start again. There was...
You're trying to be optimistic.
I was trying so hard. Oh, my heart. Okay. Quote, "There was a tragic ending to the steeplehouse race at Belmont Park yesterday afternoon. Jockey Hayes dropping dead from his saddle after riding Miss A.M. Frayling's jumper, Sweet Kiss, to a splendid victory over the 2-mile course. Death was pronounced to be due to heart disease, the attack probably having been brought on by severe training to make weight and the subsequent excitement of riding his first winner."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's right, Frank. Yeah, I know. Poor Frank. Babyface Frank.
Babyface Frank, you worked too hard.
He may have had an underlying heart condition that was exacerbated by the excitement and the damage done by slimming down from 142 to 130 pounds in just a few days
to
make the
cut. I feel like I did that in college once, and I definitely blacked out somewhere.
Jesus. Frank was laid to rest in Holy Cross Cemetery in Brooklyn, buried in his riding silks. As for Sweet Kiss, well, her first race was her last. She was retired, because among those in the racing circuit, she was nicknamed Sweet Kiss of Death.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, quote, "The horse, though established as a winner, would never be raced again, as superstitious jockeys feared suffering as Hayes had," end quote. That was from Diabolic magazine. So it seems, heart condition or not, no one wanted to take a chance and pucker up.
Which kind of shocks me. I feel like there's a ton of guys out there who'd be like, I will try to ride the horse of death.
That's right.
You know?
The horse of death.
The sweet kiss of death. Like, in that exact voice. That was how they wanted to do it.
Yeah. That would definitely happen now. That's for sure.
For sure. Yeah. For sure.
After the break, we're going to stay in 1923, but we're heading over to Egypt, where perhaps a similar case of bad luck or bad choices led to an untimely death. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hello, everyone. You may recognize me as Gabby from the History of Everything podcast.
And my name is Brenna, and you don't recognize me from anything yet.
Together, we're two scientists who explore all of the weird little questions and conspiracies of the universe in our new podcast, Mystery of Everything. Everything has an explanation.
We hope.
But that is what we're here to figure out. We will dive into the science behind many popular conspiracy theories, such as vaccines causing autism, flat earth theory, and was the moon landing fake? And if so, why the heck would anyone even do that?
But it's not just conspiracies. There's a lot of cool mysteries that we will attempt to use science to explain, such as near-death experiences, what made the Vikings go berserk, and can I control my co-host with MK Ultra?
Wait, what? Anyway, make sure to check out the Mystery of Everything podcast everywhere where you find your podcasts.
We're the All Creatures Podcast. Each week, Angie and I explore and share amazing details about the many animals we share our world with.
Plus, Chris and I are both PhD scientists and educators. So we do the deep dives in the scientific research and then come back and share what we learn in a fun and casual way. We also speak with other scientists, animal experts, activists, and many other conservation enthusiasts from all over the planet.
So you can find the All Creatures Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everyone, Jill Chacha here from Well, That's Interesting, and I am absolutely thrilled to tell you about Spotify for podcasters. I use it, I love it, and it all started by downloading the free Spotify for Podcasters app, which has all the tools you need in one place to record and edit your masterpiece of a podcast. Spotify for Podcasters also distributes your show to all major platforms. So when you hit publish, your episodes will stream not only on Spotify, but I'm talking about the Apples, the Googles, Stitcher, Good Pods, the other ones. You get the idea. And you can monetize your podcast with no minimum listenership required. You could also set up monthly subscriptions and record ads just like this one. So what are you waiting for? Download Spotify for Podcasters today and start changing the world. Oh, and please, stay interesting. And we're back.
We're so back.
We're so damn back. And we're leaving Frank, and we're going to George.
Bye, Frank.
Yeah, bye, Frank.
Bye, Frank.
Now, we're going to talk about a man named George Herbert. And if you don't recognize the name, maybe it's because he also goes by George Edward Stanhope Molyneux Herbert, 5th Earl of Carnarvon.
Oh, my God. I have to take a crack at that. All
Go for it.
Can I try it?
Yeah.
Okay. George Edward Stanhope Molyneux Herbert, 5th Earl of Carnarvon.
That's it. It's impossible not to say it that way.
You can't not give a silly accent to at least one or more parts of that name. Oh my God!
Pick a name.
Pick
an accent.
That's a person! Okay, sorry. Tell me about him.
He was also the financial backer, and I guess you could say the executive producer, of the search for and the eventual excavation of Tutankhamun's tomb in the Valley of the Kings.
Oh, my.
For the most part, George led a pretty uneventful rich man's life.
Oh.
He did all the things a white, British, very wealthy man was expected of him in the late 1800s. He went to Cambridge, he got married, he had 2 kids, 1 boy, 1 girl. And probably for maybe a little excitement and for the prestige, get this, he was also into horse racing.
Interesting.
That's right. Yeah, a little fact other than a weird-ass death connects our 2 subjects today. Now, for his wedding gift, in 1895, it was 500,000 British pounds.
That's a lot of money.
That is, even today, that would be an incredible amount of money.
I want that much.
Yes.
I want that many pounds.
Please support this. We need more mics.
Yeah.
We need just Bring them in.
Bring them in.
Now, could you guess what? Now, 500,000 in 1895. How much that would be like in today's money?
Well, I did accidentally read ahead
God damn.
on your thing. I can fake guess.
Okay.
Is it like
What did you think originally? Did you before?
a lot?
A lot?
Just like a lot.
A lot of
Millions.
stuff. Millions. You're right. Yeah, in today's money, and would be 65 million pounds.
Wow, I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
65 million fucking pounds, and that's more than enough to buy and breed racehorses, which he did, and eventually passed on this generational wealth and equestrian knowledge. His grandson, the 7th Earl, was racing manager to Queen Elizabeth II
Whoa.
from 1969, and one of the Queen's closest friends. So we're talking about this kind of wealth and connections here. So
Damn.
yeah. Anyway, back to George's boring life, which took a literal bad turn in 1903. And this may have actually changed the course of his fate. A serious car accident in Germany left him on the frailer side, so much so that his doctors advised he should take his winter break away from England. It's damp, it's humid, it's hard to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he and his wife decided Egypt would be the perfect spot, thanks to it being occupied by the British at this time. And George instantly fell in love with the country and its beautiful history. And like most British dudes in the early 1900s, he wanted all of it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So-
he's like, I have gazillions of pounds. How much does this cost?
How much does that body over there cost? Yeah.
How much does this country cost? And out of curiosity, just for funsies, like how much does the continent cost? Is that up for grabsies?
Dude, they had to think about that.
You know they did, and you know they did not as a joke.
No, it was a serious contemplative thing with a tie and a hat situation.
God.
Oh, yeah.
You know there was a great hat.
Where are we? Okay, so thus began his life as an amateur Egyptologist and his, air quotes, collection of all things mummy. From 1903 to 1912, Lord Carnarvon was on an expedition rampage, financing a number of excavations/tomb raidings led by archaeologist Howard Carter. Their, more air quotes, discovery of the ancient city of Thebes under the ancient city of Thebes under the modern city of Luxor gained them like huge Egyptologist fame.
Wow.
And they landed a book deal. George co-authored 5 Years Exploration at Thebes with his archaeologist friend and employee, Howard Carter.
Fun.
Now, World War I got in the way for a bit, and George had to pause his plundering/discoveries, but resumed in 1917. Taking over an excavation permit granted to a dude named Theodore Davis. Now, Davis actually believed the area known as Valley of the Kings had been completely exhausted, and all that was to be found was found.
Okay.
But George and Howard, though, they went on for 5 years.
Okay.
Hoping and digging and hoping until November 1922.
Drum roll.
That's right. Carter sent a telegram to George, who, fed up, had returned to England. Can you read for us ye old telegram?
I would absolutely love to. All right, quote, "At last, we have made wonderful discovery in Valley, a magnificent tomb with seals intact, recovered, same for your arrival. Congratulations."
That's right. Completely undisturbed, resting for thousands of years, there it was. The massive tomb of Tutankhamun.
Fuck yeah.
That's right. And it was just 2 meters away from where Davis had stopped digging and gave up.
Oh, man. So this telegram,
What's up?
this telegram, okay, wait, who is this telegram to?
So this was Howard Carter
Yeah.
to George, our Lord Carnarvon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought we had sent it to Davis,
Oh, no.
and that would be rude.
That would be rude. That would be a big fuck you to Davis.
Yeah. Like, come here, look what we found
Yeah.
in the place that you gave up on.
Literally the next day, George arrived in Egypt, this time with his daughter, which is nice.
Aww.
But what was not so nice was what they decided to do next. The tomb was to be officially opened on November 27th in the presence of an Egyptian official from the Egyptian Department of Antiquities. But George, his daughter Evelyn, and Carter, they just couldn't wait. And on the night of November 26th, they made an unauthorized visit to the tomb and became the first people in thousands of years to enter the chambers.
Oh, I mean, this is not a good idea, but it's a very sweet father-daughter moment.
Yeah, but,
But also a bad idea.
Bad idea. Now, King Tut's tomb was massive, like we said. There's at least 5,000 objects within various rooms that makes up his resting place. The inner burial chamber where he was laying was still sealed until February of 1920, the following February.
Okay.
Whereupon that seal was broken. And it should probably be noted that this all took place in front of the British national newspaper, The Times, and no Egyptian newspapers were permitted.
What?
Yeah. And this caused a rift with the Egyptian authorities and maybe King Tut himself, ?
What?
Yeah. 1 month later, in March, George got a mosquito bite, and a big one, on his face.
No.
And it must have been difficult to get around because one morning while shaving, he accidentally cut into it.
No.
Yeah. 2 weeks later, George was dead.
What?
On April 5th, George's body was found in a Continental Savoy hotel room in Cairo. And according to the autopsy, the cut led to a blood infection that quickly spiraled out of control. It had traveled to his weak lungs, causing pneumonia, and shut down his organs one by one.
Well, that's creepy as fuck.
Yeah. The newspapers gobbled this shit up, blaming it on the curse of Tutankhamun or the mummy's curse. And George was the only one out of 25 or so Europeans involved in the excavation who, died suddenly.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Now, those stats don't really support a curse for all who enter, but to be the only dude,
That's enough to be a curse for me.
That's right. Maybe the curse was really only meant for the richest man who for years disturbed the resting places of countless dead. Or maybe it was just bad luck. But either way, fucking sucks to be George.
Sucks to be George.
The end.
The end.
That's it. And that's the story of Frank and George. And
some fucking curses, man.
There you go.
Some fucking curses.
So hope y'all enjoyed it. And keep supporting us. We love it. We love you.
Seriously.
We read every review. And it just makes us giddy on the inside.
Yeah, seriously. And we hope you love the artwork. And we have lots of new things in store. And we're so excited.
So stay interesting.
Please do.